Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you the result of multiplication with my second graders. I did a lesson today related to multiplying by the nines from 0 to 10, and I used the finger strategy. To give a little background, my students do understand what it means to multiply and what does multiplication mean. And today I wanted to shine a little bit of light on a number that's looked at a little aggressively. Multiplying by 9, especially for second graders, can definitely be a little challenging. So after we discuss like what does it mean to multiply by 9 and how does it look in a picture model and things like that, I wanted to show them another way, a fun way using your fingers. So to prep for this lesson, aside from the work we've done already with multiplication, I actually took my hands and I traced my hands and I numbered each finger. The numbers were very important because they're going to use these numbers to actually help them multiply later. So I took the hands and then I went to the copy machine and I made the hands smaller so that it fit on one sheet of paper. I gave my kids about 10 minutes to actually color the hand and decorate it the way they wanted. But I asked them to not color with a dark color crayon or marker because I didn't want the numbers to be hard to see when it's time for them to actually use it. So after we cut out the hand, did the coloring, observed our beautiful work, they got to choose a sheet of construction paper they wanted to use as their background, and I put the title Multiplying by 9 at the top, and I showed them how to glue their hands on their paper. So it's important that the left hand starts with the number 1 and it goes to the right. It has to go from left to right. If not, it can be a little confusing. So I made sure that they put the left hand down first and then the right hand on their paper. Once they did that, we came to the carpet. I showed them how to use it. I gave them examples like 9. We started with 9 times 2. And I said, well, you guys know what 9 times 2 is, and they all said 18. But then I showed them what it looks like using their hands. So, for example, for 9 times 2, you will put down the second finger. So 9 times 2, put down the second finger 2. And that's why these numbers are very important. And so the number that goes in the tens place would be the 1. And then all the other fingers will go into the ones place. And that would be 8. And so a lot of I would ask the kids what number or how many fingers are up before the finger that's placed down, and they would say 1. And then I would ask them how many fingers are up after the finger that's placed down, and a lot of my students said 3. But I had to remind them to think of both hands as a whole. And so once I emphasized that, I said it's not just 3, count all of the fingers. Then that's when they switched from 3 to 8. And so I said, okay, 1 in the tens place, 8 in the ones place, 18. And then I got a little bit of nods. I had some confused looks on their faces. So I went ahead and did another one, of course. So I decided to do 9 times 4. And so I said 9 times 4, what number do you think, what finger do you think I'll put down? And so they said 4. And I said, correct, because it's 9 times 4. You want to put down that 4th finger. And so here I said, okay, how many fingers are before or in front of the one that's down? They said 3. I said, how many fingers are down? Are up after the finger that's down? Again, I had a lot of students that just said 1, but I had to remind them, think of it as a whole. And so they would count them, and they said 6. I said, okay, this is your tens, 36. And then a lot of them, I had some more nods, a little less confused faces. And so I decided to have them try to do one on their own. And they had these with them on the carpet. So I said, okay, let's go ahead and do 9 times 6. And so I saw students putting down the 5, and then that didn't make sense to them. They looked back at the board. They saw the 6, so they put down the 9. They put down the 6 rather than the 5. And so I had students say, okay, 54. 5 before, and then 4 afterwards. It took some time, but after a while they started to understand, and they were very eager to use their new strategy with real life application. So the follow-up activity was a multiplication fact sheet. The students had to find the product of all the multiplication facts, and they were all by nines. The lowest was 9 times 0. The highest was 9 times 9. And they had to find the, excuse me, the multiplication, the product, excuse me, of the multiplication facts. And then once they found the answers, they actually had to color in the picture based off the number. So for example, if the number was 45 or 72, you would color it green. Whereas numbers 0, 18, and 63 got colored brown. This was a really good activity. It took them about 30 45 minutes to complete, but I was able to really see what they knew. And then before I knew it, I saw my students actually saying, oh, I can do this on my own without their fingers and without their hands. But I really did see a lot of my students, especially some of the ones that struggled with math in general, they actually grasped this concept and they felt comfortable with it. So I'm glad that they felt very proud of their work also. So just so you can get an example of what the product of it looked like, the follow-up looked like afterwards. Here's one they did, and here's another one. You know, you can see a few mistakes, but considering this is their first time, this is actually pretty good. I have another one here. And so, you know, I definitely want to take this and use it as a reference to see, okay, maybe we need a little bit more practice on it. Let's see if they could try to do it without their hands after a while. But they felt really good as they were working with their assignment. So the video you're getting ready to see, you're going to see my kids working independently, solving the problems. You're going to see me working with two girls to just, you know, monitor their work and to kind of ask guiding questions to help them to help reinforce the skill with their multiplication or multiplying by 9, excuse me. And I do hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or anything, or if you are interested in getting supplies related to this, just go ahead and send me an email or a comment, and I'll be sure to respond back as quickly as I can. And feel free to also subscribe and like the video. And I hope that you find this this resource useful in your classroom, or this strategy useful in your classroom. And I will hopefully be able to post some more videos of some different strategies I'm using with my now second graders. Enjoy.